So today I'm going on a trip. It's a Friday, of course I'm going on a trip. And also today, for the first time, I will be taking a city bus is the plan, and I'll let you know how that goes. I probably won't be able to show the actual process of getting on the bus, but here is the bus stop. The bus should be coming from that direction. I don't know the schedule, but it should be coming from that direction sometime soon. So I didn't get off that specific bus, but there does seem to be a bus stop here. I got off the bus right here. The buses are a little bit different than I'm used to. The driver actually made change for me, even though the change came to like 6 US cents. And it was pretty quick. I had some footage of it. I went with the speed of traffic, which is not very much, but it did take me here. It's still early in the morning. And now I'm going to be heading southward. So this is the National Museum of Costa Rica. As you can see, it's a very impressive building. I didn't see this last time I was in downtown, and on another day might go there. Don't know what that is. That looks like something pretty impressive. No windows, and that makes me think that's like some type of telecom building or something like that. Not sure though, but today I'm not going there. I'm actually have a more modest, or have a plan that starts somewhere more modest across here, across the street. If I can cross the street, which can be a challenge here. This is Calle 13, Calle 13, and today's Friday the 13th, so I'm going to double my luck by walking down this road. This apparently is Estación Museo. This is on a different line, but it's close to Atlantic Station. And like I saw University of Costa Rica Station, I don't see where we can pay, so I don't know how this works, and this is something I have to figure out, because there's these train platforms which are different than the stations, but there's no way to pay, so I'm a little bit confused about that. So that's not actually what I was looking for today, but I did want to point that out as I continue southward. So here you can see how close the tracks are to the sidewalk, and there's no barrier, and there actually are some barriers on the streets when they cross it. But in general, the infrastructure is, like I said, a lot less hand-holding than there would be in the United States. In the United States, train tracks like this will be a lawsuit waiting to happen. Of course, this just carries the relatively short and light commuter rail, not freight tracks, as far as I know, or not freight trains, as far as I know. Anyway, so I'll be following these tracks for a while. So I'm just continuing southward, still on Calle Parque, Street 13, and don't really know what to say about this neighborhood. It's kind of difficult to navigate, but I'm okay, just going south. There's a lot of creeks like this in San Jose, and it looks small now, but after the rain it can really swell up, and so to cross a creek, a lot of times the smaller streets dead end. So you have to find a wider road like this, which I did. And I'm almost at my destination, a couple blocks. So I believe this is the entrance to Parque La Paz, where I'm going. It's not Parque La Paz itself, but there's kind of like a loop through here. In this case, Google Maps, which usually I trust totally, doesn't always, in Costa Rica, doesn't always seem to have exact and total information. So I am looking for where I'm going, but this looks like it's an established path, so I think this is the way to go. So I'm passing underneath the road to get to the park is the plan, and this is a larger creek than the one we saw before. That creek goes into this one. So the park here is divided by a quite wide double highway. But apparently, according to Google Maps, and I'll find out if this is true, there is a pathway either over or under the road, and the park continues in that direction. And here we have some type of wetland, which right now is low, but maybe like every afternoon this gets higher. Hopefully I will not be here when the rains start. And right here we do have some open water, which looks like it's maintained. Those look like they're sharp edges, so it looks like the open water is maintained, maybe. And over there we do have some waterfowl, including geese and ducks, it seems. I can't see what type they are from here, but some type of amphibiform. So it looks like that pass is an overpass. Actually, it's a pretty impressive suspension bridge there. So that also looks like that's a skate park. So like a lot of parks of this size in the US, you have some natural areas and then you have different amenities and features to use. Over there we can see a football field, so stuff like that. So I'm gonna go and see what's on this side of the bridge. So along here we have another open pond or lake or lagoon. I would say that this looks semi-artificial because there's streams nearby. I think that this was naturally a flooded area, but it looks like it's maintained as a lake. I also saw online, there was old YouTube videos that there was caimans in this lake, but those were old, and I don't think I will see any caimans today, but who knows? I have a better chance of seeing a caiman here than I did in Oregon. So I did say earlier some type of amphibiform, and these certainly look like ducks, but these are not mallard ducks. Much more colorful. I don't know a lot about ducks, and I know that ducks can crossbreed and that there's different varieties within a species, but these are not ducks that I'm familiar with. These type of birds are also common, and I think that might be a brown jay. That might be a type of corvid, but I'm not sure. I know there are brown jays in this country. And over there's a bird that I thought was a type of crow, but I think that's a grackle. It is not a corvid. In general, it's kind of been a surprise to me. Like maybe I didn't think there would be gigantic parrots flying from tree to tree everywhere, but I was expecting a little bit more color and biodiversity. And just like in Oregon, for example, most of the time I'm seeing like 4 or 5 human habituated birds, generalists, and then every once in a while I see something else. So obviously, if somebody came to Costa Rica to experience pristine nature and wonderful biodiversity, this might be a little bit disappointing, but this is a neighborhood park, and for what it is, you know, in kind of a crowded neighborhood, I think it's well maintained, has a lot of nature, has a lot of facilities, so I'm having fun, but I will be going along, want to get home before the rains start. This here almost reminds me of the path at Washington Park up to the Rose Gardens. Just a little bit. Here we have what looks like a short pathway up to a mirador, or viewpoint. Let's go up there and see what we can see. So it looks like things are cooling down and clouds are gathering, which makes it a little bit easier for me, but it does mean we are getting close to when the rains might start. And actually right now I didn't bring anything to drink. I thought there would be a store on the way. I'm getting a little bit thirsty, and I don't want to like end up bonking. So I'm gonna head back toward homewards, and also I'm gonna see if there's a place where I can buy myself my One Vice Diet Coke. I don't know if this is totally the case in Costa Rica, but I certainly noticed it in Chile. Not a lot of drinking fountains in public parks. That's like a United States thing, just like limitless water at a restaurant is a US thing. We'd like to drink a lot of water in the US. So that is one thing to keep in mind if you visit a park here, and I think in most of the world. Bring water, because there will not be water. And now that I'm leaving the peacefulness of Parque La Paz, I have one of these to deal with. Not fun. So I'm going to put my camera down for a while. So I thought that the trains had stopped running by now, unless this is some type of press train or deadheading. Actually, yeah, I believe it is deadheading because it didn't stop when there's no one on that train. This train's returning to probably its launching area for its afternoon runs. Once again, here's another stop. This is a platform. Don't know how this works. Don't know how this works. And this is just in a neighborhood park. We have a little train platform in a way that, again, part of me is kind of nervous. A playground that close to train tracks, I don't know. But yeah, so there's another train platform, and I really do hope I get to take this train in a more substantial way sometime soon. So the walk back was a lot quicker than the walk there. And went through, I guess, some working class neighborhoods. There was some light industrial. A lot of places to fix a muffler and buy fried chicken. And, that's a place I've been in a lot of places, whether it's back in the Couve or the country I've only been in a week. It kind of looks the same. And I'm pretty soon I'm going to be back in downtown proper. From there, I'll just walk home. I could take a bus home, but I've already walked a lot further. I mostly took the bus this morning to see if I could, to see how it worked. And it works fine. But I'll just walk home, and it's still before 11 a.m. It's still early in the day. Day starts earlier here. So I'm back downtown. And from here, I think it's a pretty straight shot back home. I might make one or more comments, but for now, this is pretty self-explanatory. And the traffic has really decreased, and the neighborhood is becoming in general a little bit easier to breathe once I get to this downtown area. And in a couple of minutes we'll be going through Barrio Escalante, where Parque Francia is. So this is Parque Francia, Plaza Francia rather. And this is Barrio Escalante, a fashionable neighborhood full of bars and restaurants, a lot of tourists. So I will mention here, a good place to mention, one of the secret agendas I have for these videos. Not that secret. One thing is that, of course, I just want to get out and go places, see what's there. But also specifically, and this was a big issue in Chile, which I really wish I had records for, is that a lot of times in the United States when Latin America is shown, it's either way over romanticized or vilified. Latin America is either Machu Picchu or the worst song imaginable. So a lot of what I want to show in these videos is just like, what does an area look like that's not this? Well, this isn't quite Machu Picchu, but what do areas look like between, the tourist spots and the romanticized, vision of Latin America and the vilified version. So like the area I went today, a little bit rough around the edges, traffic was hard, but then we saw a nice park, so I just wanted to show like kind of the spectrum of what things really look like, and I will be doing more of that in the weeks to come, I hope. Especially now I know how to ride the buses, it's not that hard, and someday, like Fred Flintstone, I'm going to catch that train and figure out how to use that train. That's going to make things a lot easier. So I'm back in the Rotonda La Bandera de mi propio vecino, back in my own neighborhood. Have to cross some of these spokes. So one thing just personally is, I've only been here 9 days or whatever, but there's certainly been periods of, where I get really worried. What if I'm just totally exhausted all the time and I just spend all my time hiding in my Airbnb, from the rain. You know, what if I can't navigate this city and all this weird traffic? And then there's times, and today's one of them, where I feel more optimistic and energetic about, you know, finding my way around and be able to enjoy things. So, you know, different days have different attitudes, but so far, you know, it's hard to say. I've only been here 9 days. You know, I am enjoying things, even though, yeah, there are times when I'm just like so exhausted. Stress of living in a new country. Anyway, so that is the conclusion to my trip, but there will be other trips.